I used to use a model and I used to teach management many years ago, like back in the 80s. And it was a simple thing that we used to talk about, which is to look at life as an X. And it just, if you draw an X on a piece of paper, I don't know, maybe many people still talk about this. I haven't heard it in years, but there are a lot of people who spend their whole life living in the bottom of the X, which is as they get older, the walls get narrower. They become so much more sure of what they know. They settle in on their points of view. And I think from a resilience point of view, and Jeff, this sort of goes to the wellness aspects of this whole undertaking. What I'm seeing is an awful lot of people experiencing dissonance because so much of the world isn't what they think they know. So much of the belief systems that shape their lives aren't the belief systems that will help them today. I always committed myself to trying to live in the top of the X, which is the older you get, the wider it gets. And that's the curiosity, right? That's where the surprises are. And to be ready to be surprised. I'm a little bit older than you. I was in the 11th grade when Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. Um, I started my career at IBM sorting punch cards. That's what we thought computers were, right? And now I look at what my grandchildren know and what they're aware of and what they have access to, and I'm awestruck by that. And I think the one of the saddest things is to watch people in the bottom of that X and watch them get more and more frustrated and angry and cynical, to use your word. And I think the resilience effect of being able to open people up and reignite their curiosity is a step towards health. Um, Jeff, did you want to take it back, or because
Yeah,
I
I'll
can.
jump in and we can keep the conversation going again if there's questions. And I like how in the chat box, I know Mark, who's done incredible work as a law enforcement hostage negotiator, and now he continues to look after the well-being of first responders with his therapy dogs. Him and I have talked a lot with that idea of the sunrises and sunsets, and the line that I try to say often is, I like them both. Anybody gets a sunset, you got to earn the sunrise. So much so you got to get up before the sun to see it. And thrown, I've got two questions. One thing that comes to mind first for you, Graham, is truly, and as for those that don't remember, this is the third year we're doing it. It's always been free. It's always been through Zoom, and it started because of COVID. And it gave me an opportunity to practice cognitive reappraisal, the idea of grabbing something good, in that case of COVID, that's awful. And it's not dismissing or minimizing the awfulness. It's built in, it's there. But if we make the time for the bad, we also got to make time for the good. And that's balance in life. And it's that idea of, think about it, even with you being sick, unfortunately, if this was an in-person event, you wouldn't be able to be here and share this with us. And it's that idea of making that shift, like you said as well, Norm, is changing our perspective. And I think, again, with the vast research on awe, one of the many things is it demonstrates for the person experiencing it, that they don't know something, but then B, try to fill that knowledge gap, not just being scared and overwhelmed or becoming closed in and what I would call ignorant. It's the opposite. And that doesn't make you better at X, Y, or Z. It helps inspire you to get better at X, Y, and Z.